Hello, everybody, and welcome to Functional Medicine with me, Dr. Howard Robbins. As you know, our show is dedicated to natural, as safe, and hopefully effective ways of treating all medical problems that we talk about. Today, we're starting a series on allergies. It's a pretty complex and lengthy subject to talk about. And by the way, I have to start asking. My staff keeps telling me, if you enjoy our podcast, please tell your friends and subscribe. That would be a wonderful thing if you subscribe to us. I greatly appreciate that. This subject on allergies is quite lengthy and complex. There's a lot to talk about, and we're going to be able to do this in 2 or 3 parts. First, well, normally I've been focusing on all our shows on just treating allergies because there's different types of allergies. It's a little bit more complex in terms of the treatment. And rather than do a show on one at a time, I'm going to try to put it all together. So at least it's cohesive. In past years, when I did my podcasts on Voice America, well, you couldn't see me, but you could hear me. They were 1 hour, and I tried to make everything as comprehensive as I could in 1 hour's time. Now I'm going to give you, hopefully, 20-minute segments that should hopefully give you what you need, and then you can skip to where you need to skip to. So, allergies are very common. It's just about everybody has some kind of an allergy. And it's basically when your body's immune system overreacts. Now, normally, the things that it can overreact to could be harmless to other people, but it's obviously not harmless to your immune system. And it can trigger a wide range of symptoms from very mild, sometimes you don't even notice it, to very severe reactions. Your body's immune system is mistaking these allergens as dangerous invaders, and it produces what's called antibodies to fight them. Um, Antibodies are basically protective proteins that attack these invading organisms. Could be anything: virus, fungus, yeast, mold, bacteria, parasites, toxins, harmful free radicals, mites, not mice, mites. You could be allergic to dust, or you could be allergic to pollen. There's many different types of allergies. And the range of reactions is absolutely tremendous. Not going to spend too much time on all the different symptoms and stuff, but you could have allergies to pollen, like hay fever or grass, where you just get sneezing and you may get a runny, stuffy nose. You may get, some fatigue, watery red or swollen eyes that could be itchy. The conjunctiva, the side underneath your eyelids, can become inflamed. Those are common allergy symptoms to everything, by the way. But food allergies can also add on tingling in your mouth. You can get swelling of your lips, your tongue, your face, your throat. You can get hives, like little itchy welts on your skin, stomach cramps, vomiting, nausea, diarrhea. And of course, with food allergies, now you're getting into the level of where we can get into anaphylaxis, which we'll mention in a few minutes a little bit more. You could be allergic to stings or bites from, stings from bees. Some people have severe allergy to bees and bee stings. You can have an allergy to snake bites, spider bites. Some are literally deadly. Obviously, the venom they inject, some people tolerate it well, and some people die from it. Um, Now you're going to start to get coughing and tightness in your chest when you get these kind of stings, along with all the other things we spoke about. Your skin can change color, all sorts of different things like that can occur. I want to make sure I have notes. I want to make sure I don't leave anything out for you all. So, medicines can cause allergies. So, and this is the reason I say it's complex is because you can have not just this or that, you can have this and that. Now, you might not be allergic to, you might not have a severe allergic reaction to one thing that you are allergic to. But now, if something else comes in, all right, you get hit by two different allergens at the same time or more, then you can have, one adding on to the other, and now your body's immune system just can't handle and deal with it, and you overreact. And you may think, oh, it's all from one thing, but it may not be. It may be from several things. And that's why you can't just, you have to really look into what the causes might be. Um, Wheezing, shortness of breath, feeling dizzy. These, all these kinds of additional things may come in, and you can get different types of allergic reactions reacting in your skin. Names they give to dermatitis, inflammation in the skin, that can be causing that. The causes are complex as well. Not that it really matters to you all, what the causes might be in terms of different factors. But if you understand the causes, then you can start to work with prevention. Okay. And a big part of these shows are going to be talking about prevention, not just the treatment of these things. When your body reacts to an allergen, it releases chemicals, various chemicals, and that cause inflammation and other symptoms in your body, such as histamines and antihistamines. You've heard of them, you buy them over the counter. Um, they cause fatigue, they can cause stress to your liver. So I'm not against pharmaceuticals when they can be used, but listening to these shows, you probably already have been using them, and you're listening to these shows for one, trying to get off them, or two, because they're not working. And what we're going to be giving you is what works in terms of how to cleanse, detoxify, boost your immune system, and even protect yourself against having a reaction to an allergen. The way I kind of look on allergies in general is your imagine your body is a glass, and you start to take a pitcher of water and pour the water into the glass. Now, the water are allergens, whatever the allergen might be. Now, when you start to pour the water into the glass, nothing happens. But as the glass fills up, as your body's immune system begins to be attacked by more and more allergen, which you may not be able to eliminate from your body easily, it it can reach the top. Still, you may not react. But now when you add one drop more water than your system can tolerate, and it overflows, that overflow of the glass is the reaction that you get. And if you add a lot more allergen, it starts to pour out of the glass, and that's when you have more severe allergic reactions. So that's the kind of way I think of it. And what we're going to try to teach you and talk about are what can be done to diminish the allergens in your body. Knock that water in the glass, those allergens in your body down so low that it takes a humongous amount of allergen to make you react. And that's the way I look at it. You may not ever really get cured of your allergy, but the key to these shows that we're doing is on how to deal with it in the most effective way. And you can have genetic allergies, for example, and you can't get rid of a genetic allergy. Um, it's in your genes. You inherited it from your parents or your grandparents, and but there are ways to boost your body up, as I've just mentioned, to deal with it in a more effective way. There are food allergies, environmental allergies, and we're going to be going into how to deal with them all. Lastly, and not leastly, is anaphylaxis. It's a life-threatening reaction. You get a sudden drop in your blood pressure, you can have difficulty breathing, you can lose consciousness, you can pass out. Hitting the ground could kill you. Many people have died just from the concussion of hitting the ground. Um, You get rash and with hives and welts. Um, your pulse can weaken, though it could be rapid. Your heart's trying to react to this to this situation. Vomiting, diarrhea, upset stomach, anaphylaxis, swelling in your of your tongue and um, lips. Your throat can close. Very serious thing when you have an anaphylactic reaction to something. And you hear about that with pharmaceuticals, that you can have very commonly anaphylactic reactions to pharmaceutical medicine. And the commercials on TV, they tell you about don't take this if you're allergic to it. Well, how do you know you're allergic to it? And if you have an anaphylactic reaction, you're going to find out quickly. You're going to die. You could die. When you have those kind of reactions, you want to do something very rapidly, and most of the time people don't have things they can do that are very rapid, like Epipens, a very expensive device to have where you could stick yourself. It's basically epinephrine, and you can do an injection of epinephrine. But basically speaking, that could be the only thing that'll save your life. By the time someone calls 911, you could be gone. But in an anaphylactic reaction, the first thing you have to do is call 911. If you've had reactions to foods like peanuts, many different, foods or things that people could be sensitive to, generally you have an EpiPen prescribed to you, and you should be carrying it with you and having one available virtually everywhere you go. You can't be hunting and fishing for it in your pocketbook or in your backpack. It's got to be where you can grab it within 10 to 15 seconds, no more than 30 seconds, and that even may be too late. So basically, allergic reactions can appear almost anywhere. Let's start with food. So diet is one of the key ways of overcoming allergies. There are many foods that you need to eliminate if you want to help prevent allergies with your diet and keep your immune system boosted. Some foods people are very commonly allergic to, like sugar, particularly all the refined sugars, dairy foods, beef, potatoes, not so much the red potatoes or purple potatoes, but the yellow and white potatoes. Shellfish, very common. My son is allergic to shellfish. Eggs, amazing. Eggs, most important and one of the most valuable foods we can eat because it contains all the essential amino acids. And you could have egg allergies. I believe that there are ways to overcome some of those allergies: tomatoes, coffee, peanuts, soy, corn, yeast, citrus fruits. Those are common allergy foods, particularly corn. Well, all of them. But there are ways to overcome some of them, and we're going to talk about that. One of the reasons, let's talk about it. One of the reasons people develop a food allergy. Now, there are fixed food allergies. You were born with it. It's a genetic allergy. And then there's acquired food allergies. An acquired food allergy happens because you ate a food that was contaminated with an herbicide or a pesticide. You're not really allergic to that food. You're allergic to the herbicide or pesticide. Now, many of the foods that I just mentioned, often not being organic, contain herbicides and pesticides. And so the herbicide or pesticide molecule is attached to the food molecule. Your immune system cannot differentiate between the two. And now you're allergic to that food, even though you don't really have that food as an allergy. Okay? So let's talk about how to overcome that, if it's possible to overcome. Okay, again, it's not a fixed food allergy. It's a learned food allergy, if you want to call it that, because of an allergy to an allergic reaction to herbicides or pesticides. Well, um, one of the ways to overcome it, according to I don't know if he's still even around, famous allergist that used to lecture together years ago. He was in Washington, D.C. Won't mention his name in case she doesn't want me to give away his methods of treatment, but I'm going to tell you how. What you have to, let's say you're allergic, like, for example, I became allergic to eggplant. Had, when I was growing up, had plenty of eggplant, never had a problem. And one day I became severely allergic to eggplant. Um, so I couldn't eat it. And for many years, I completely avoided it. And then, speaking to my buddy from the DC, and he told me how you might be able to overcome these things. And here's how. You stay off the food for at least 9 months. Well, I'd been off for years. Now what you have to do is get organic eggplant. And we're going to talk about organic and what's the truth about that in a minute. So you get organic eggplant. You take a small, see, what happens is over at least 9 months, and you have to give it at least 9 months, your, according to my friend, your immune system has forgotten technically that allergy. Okay. You have so many new generations of immune cells that since it's not constantly being attacked, just forgot that the allergy exists. What you do is you take a small amount of that of organic eggplant or whatever the food is, and you put it under your tongue. Now, before you do that, you have to check on a few things. One is you take your pulse and see what your pulse rate is. And please don't do pulse up here. It can slow your heart rate down. So you have to do it by your wrist. Or put on a little cuff. You can buy these oxymeters that take your pulse rate, or blood pressure machines that give you your pulse also. And take your pulse. Now you also have to note whether your nose is runny or congested, if your breathing is labored, or if it's a nice, clear, easy breathing that's going on, no wheezing or anything. And note if your eyes are itchy or runny or whatever. Okay? Because you don't want any of those things to be in place. That's a sign that you're reacting to something. Now you put a little bit under your tongue, you hold it there for a couple of minutes, and now you check. If your pulse rate goes up 10 beats per minute or more, you're still allergic to it. If you start to notice congestion, runny nose, congestion, difficulty breathing or wheezing, coughing, runny eyes, watery eyes, itchy eyes, you're still allergic. Okay? You can wait another 9 months, go through that whole process all over again and see if maybe you can beat it. But here's the reason why it might not work the first time. What is organic? Okay, so I have a beautiful little organic garden. One of my close friends is Joe the farmer, and he puts in all these organic plants for me each season, and we grow all sorts of great stuff. So I don't have to, even though we don't have a long growing season here in New York, I don't have to go into the stores and buy a lot of stuff. So it's great. Well, in any case, how do you water it? Okay, now where does the water come from? Well, I have a whole house water purification system. So the water that goes outside is, to water my plants is purified water. All right. But it's not hydroponic. It's not in a closed space. So rain falls on it. Now, where did the rain cloud come from? So I always jokingly say, and it's not really a joke, it started to develop over the tanning mills in Buffalo. And it moseyed its way down to the steel mills in Pittsburgh. And then it sauntered its way into New Jersey over all the different chemical plants, glowing and whoosh, 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 who God knows what's in it from that. And then it comes over my beautiful organic garden and dumps its load of water on it. So what is truly organic? What organic really means to me is no herbicides or pesticides were added to it by the farmer. Okay? That's the best you can do. That's the best you can do. Some things are grown hydroponically, but not a lot. And hydroponic vegetables and fruit, if you can get hold of it, um, if it's no herbicides or pesticides were used inside, yes, that's how you can do it. Or if you have a greenhouse, you can add purified water inside a greenhouse, and of course, you can make things pure organic that way. But realistically, doesn't happen. Doesn't happen. And even around the world, wherever we go, we don't know where the rain came from. But you want to try to stay with organic as much as you possibly can. You want to avoid ultra processed foods causing childhood asthma, all sorts of things. Um, a lot of the foods that organic milk, for example, should only be giving that to your kids and using it yourself. Organic dairy products, at least you know that they didn't feed the animals, that you're getting the milk from. Diets of foods that were contaminated with all these different organisms and everything. So so that's the way to try to overcome what I call, and we're going to get into more things that you can do to boost your immune system, um, those kind of allergies. I'm going to end this show now, and we're going to go. You're going to really need to listen to all the different parts to this to really get a true idea of all the things that you can do. And uh, the next shows are going to we're going to go into all sorts of things that you're going to find extremely important and beneficial. So listen to all three parts. Everybody, I thank you all for listening. Remember to tell your friends to listen to our show, and please subscribe. That would be very, very helpful, so we know how many people are listening and really enjoying our show. Thanks, everybody. Stay healthy, stay well, and we'll be back again with Functional Medicine with Dr. Robbins. Bye now.